We've got to remember that businesses aren't people. Businesses are made up of collective individuals. So all leaders and managers within a business would ideally know thyself. Used to be a sign above the temples in Delphi. Know thyself, and then know others. You've got to know the individuality of the people in your team. And that's made up of 4 layers primarily. How the person functions, which is profiling like DISC. Why they function, which is their motivation or drive. Their ability to function, their strengths and weaknesses, if you will. And then everything else, all their life experiences, their fears, their doubts and limiting beliefs. And so the more leaders and managers can learn to work with the individuality of those 4 layers, the more inclined they are to get better performance out of that person. Now, to drill into that slightly, DISC profiling, how somebody functions, it is what it is. If somebody's more big picture or more detailed, great, work with that. Everybody's got strengths. Everybody's got weaknesses, so just learn what they're great at, leverage that, what do they need help with, support them with that. I think the really interesting one here, though, is motivation, intrinsic motivation. If you ask everybody in your team what fires them up, it's going to change at different stages in life. No different than if you say, where do you want to travel next? You might get different answers, but you might get 6 different continents. And so it is with motivation, internal motivation. Are they driven by utility and return? Are they driven by knowledge and learning? Are they driven by social, helping others? Are they driven by aesthetic, new experiences? Are they driven by individualistic power, strategy, being involved? Or are they driven by belief and tradition, a playbook with which they live by? When you can learn that and identify that, it means you can align your business goals with their internal goal. And that is where you start to really see the magic happen. I think the final thing I'd say here is that there's this principle called discretionary effort. That's the magic ingredient. But the clue's in the word. It's discretionary, which means if you demand it, if you force it, if you have to ask for it, you've lost it. So how do you encourage discretionary effort? By learning to work with the individual nature of every person in your team. Leverage their strengths, manage their weaknesses, appeal to their intrinsic motivation and goals, align their reward and recognition to that as best as possible, and then help them set goals to stretch their own performance, their own learning, continual learning, and the goals that really ignite them, what makes them feel fulfilled, not just in work, but in broader life.